In this part of the video, I want to briefly mention the computer outputs produced to date. When computers first entered our lives, they came with Vega. Introduced by IBM in 1987, it came with analog signals. Maximum resolution was 1920 by 1080. Lower quality was generally used at 640 by 480 or 800 by 600 resolutions. After Vega ports, DVI ports were produced. Looking at all the display outputs produced to date, while they all share a single standard, DVI somehow caused confusion. It comes with 5 different standards: DVI single link, DVI I, D, DVI dual link, DVI A, DVI D single link, and DVI dual link. If you buy a cable from an electronics store or purchase one online, it might not fit. When you need this type of cable, you must carefully examine the DVI port on your monitor and graphics card output, because they all have different structural characteristics. They will definitely not be compatible. We talked about Vega, we talked about DVI. Then HDMI came along and everything changed. With HDMI, we can transmit not only images, but also sounds from devices. For example, when we connect to a television, we can receive the sound from the connected device through the television speakers. We've been using HDMI since 2003. Although HDMI's technical structure is a single standard, speed differences can occur between versions. For example, HDMI 1.4 allows data transfer up to 4K 30 Hz, HDMI 2.0 up to 4K 60 Hz, and HDMI 2.1 up to 10K 120 Hz. One of the biggest disadvantages of HDMI is that as the cable length increases, the resolution and quality unfortunately decrease proportionally. Therefore, it's beneficial to use a standard cable whenever possible. DisplayPorts, which came into our lives after HDMI, have a socket structure similar to HDMI ports, but they can show differences. They have a button on them. You need to press the button to remove and reattach them. DisplayPort 1.2 allows data transfer up to 4K 60 Hz, DisplayPort 1.4 up to 8K 60 Hz, and DisplayPort 2.2 up to 16K 60 Hz. DisplayPort also has the advantage of supporting multiple monitors, higher resolutions, and faster refresh rates. However, most monitors we use today don't come with HDMI and DVI, which is a significant drawback. Then, in 2008, Mini DisplayPort entered our lives. It had almost the same resolutions and data speeds as DisplayPort. Later, this connection type was abandoned. In 2011, we became acquainted with Thunderbolt. The signal type is digital USB. Digital USB was combined with a pocket form factor. Thunderbolt 1 is 10 gigabit, Thunderbolt 2 is 20 gigabit, and Thunderbolt 3 and 4 gigabit entered our lives with 8K monitor support. Finally, when we look at USBs, USB 2.0s were around for a long time. Then USB 3.0S came out. When we look at 31, we see 10 gigabits,